right, I have the Italian Gangster, Danny Sabatello, back on the show, who'll be fighting next against Johnny Campbell on August the 13th for Bellator. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, bro. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man, and I'm glad to talk to you again. This fight with Johnny, I really can't wait for it. He had a big win his last time out over a veteran in Henry Corrales. Before we dive into that matchup and everything, I just want to ask, how things have been at ATT for this camp, and how are you feeling leading into this fight?
Yeah, things have been great ever since my last fight. I was asking Scott Coker and my manager, Jason House with Iridium, to just get me a fight ASAP. I took no injuries in my fight against Brett Johns, so I wanted one right away. I had to wait a little bit, and now we're ready to go in August.
And I got to ask about my boy, Tony Gravely. He's got a fight right around the corner. He's someone that you work with on a regular basis in camp. So how's he looking as he prepares to step back into the octagon?
Yeah, Tony's the nicest guy ever, and he's a complete stud. I think I go with him maybe like 4 or 5 times a week. Big fan of his. We're good teammates, good friends, and I think he's going to smash his guy when he goes.
And you mentioned some of your training partners the last time that we spoke, but has it changed at all for this camp? Are you working with anyone new, or is it pretty much the usual suspects?
Not really, just the usual. Tony Gravely, Pedro Munhoz, Marlon Moraes. I'm training a little bit more with Edson Barbosa as he prepares with Giga Chikadze. Yeah, just absolute studs. Honey Yaya, I was going with him up until he had to leave for his fight. But, the bottom line is I'm at the best gym in the world, American Top Team. So I just go with killers nonstop. It doesn't really matter who it is. I can grab him. Doesn't matter. They're all world champion caliber, and we all get each other better.
And Munhoz obviously fights tonight, co-main event against former champion Jose Aldo. Break this fight down for me, man. Like, what do you think Munhoz has to do to go in there and beat Aldo and get the win tonight?
Yeah, the good thing with Pedro is all his fights are exciting. He's always pressing forward, always pressuring the guy. I think Aldo's gas tank isn't going to hold up with Pedro's. He's got a good gas tank. He's always, no matter what, pressing forward and putting the gas on the guy. I think he dogs him out and then gets the finish late.
All right, give me your prediction for the main event. You got Derek Lewis and Cyril Gahn, and I'm really surprised, man, that Lewis is as heavy of an underdog as he is, with that one-punch knockout power that he has. How do you see this fight playing out?
Yeah, Lewis definitely has that one-punch knockout. He's a big guy, especially at heavyweight. All it takes is just a swing of the fist to put the lights out, and then you're the winner. But Gane, I think, is just too good. He's too technical. He knows that the only way that he loses is if he gets knocked out, something lucky with Lewis. But, yeah, I think Gane is too much for him. I think he outclasses him.
Yeah, it's going to be a great card. I know you're watching. Are you just staying at home tonight to watch it, or you got plans to get together with some friends?
Yeah, I'm probably going to cut a little weight later on, and then we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I'm going to watch Pedro for sure, but he's really the only one I care about. I'm not a huge, massive fight fan. I watch my teammates and my friends and guys that I care about, but other than that, I really don't give a fuck about anybody else. A lot of guys are boring. A lot of guys lead up to the fight boring. So I really only care about my American Top Team teammates.
Okay, fair enough. Tell me what life has been like for you outside of training at ATT. What have you been getting into, man, since we last spoke?
Nothing. All it is training. I train twice a day, every day. I'm always in a training camp. I always say that I don't really believe in training camps. I love fighting. I'm fortunate enough to fall in love with the sport of fighting. So I wake up every day and I'm excited to go to the gym and get better. Like I said before, twice a day, every day, that's all I do. Sometimes I'll go to the beach and tan and hit on girls, whatever. But, I don't really have too many hobbies. I just train. That's it. And I get ready for my fight. And then it shows in my performances. I dominate these guys. But you don't dominate these guys without working hard. You got to sacrifice and you got to put the time in the gym. And I do. That's where the confidence comes from. I know how much hard work and sacrifice and athletic ability I have. So that's where it all comes from. I don't really have too much of a life other than training, fighting, and then partying like a rock star after.
Well, I do want to ask you too. You mentioned, going to the beach and hitting on girls, and down there in Florida, there's a lot of them to choose from. So tell me, as a single guy, like, what's your ideal woman out there? For anyone that's watching, you might have someone that's watching this that's hoping they can bump into you at some show or whatnot. Like, what's the ideal woman for Danny Sabatello?
Just anybody fit and loyal. That's really it. A lot of girls I'm not into the thick girls, the fat girls or whatever. Just really be fit and loyal, and we can have some fun.
Okay, good enough. Now, when you're home, I know you got to be watching some sort of TV, right? So any movies or Netflix suggestions, any TV shows that you've gotten into that you really liked?
No, not really. It was funny. I was watching the Peaky Blinders before my last fight with Brett Johns, but with him being from Wales, I had to stop that just because, those are like the enemies now. I pictured Tommy Shelby and wanted to stab him. So I'm not really watching too much Netflix or anything right now. I don't really have a show. I flip around. I will watch a lot of baseball. We got football coming up, preseason games. I'm a big football guy. I love college football. So I'm excited for the football season.
Do you have a team?
Yeah, Purdue and the U, baby, the Miami Hurricanes. Come on.
Okay. How is the U going to be this year? Looking all right?
Hopefully good. Hopefully they're back. They were really good a long time ago and they're kind of inching towards that. But, I love their style of play. They're nitty gritty guys. They're all tough and they all want to win. We just got to believe into the system and they can, sky's the limit. They got Alabama right off the gate. Hopefully they can knock them off and that'd be crazy.
I was a running back in high school. Did you play?
Nice. Yeah, I played in high school as well. I was running back and safety.
Okay. All right. Very good, man. Well, I'm sure you were good, regardless, offense or defense, with, how good of an athlete you are inside of the cage. Now, I do want to talk to you a little bit about, Mohegan Sun and traveling there. I mean, I guess it's kind of a short flight from Florida to Connecticut, but when you do make the trip, any difference in who will be your cornermen? And are they allowing more people to come? Because I know previously down there at the Mohegan, they didn't allow as many cornermen.
Yeah, not really. I always have my head coach, Mike Brown, with me. As long as he's with me, it doesn't really matter. We're very, very close. He's really the reason that I'm so good. I give him a lot of credit in my development. So I'm going to have Mike Brown and then I'm going to have the usual suspects. But yeah, I think it's a limited crowd, but baby steps is fine with me. Obviously I want a massive crowd, packed to the gills crowd. I'm a guy that feeds off emotion and motivation and passionate and everything. I picture the crowd either booing me or cheering for me. It doesn't matter to me, but I love that human element. But, it's just going to be nice to have a little bit of the fans back. I'm hoping more so than, not a lot, but, we'll see. Either way, I go in there and I beat the fuck out of this guy. I call it a day. I'm entertaining. If you're watching there live, awesome. Everybody should go. We should pack that place if we can. But if you're just watching on TV, that's fine too.
Do you feel like Mike Brown is almost underrated as a coach? Because it seems like he should get a little bit more shine for everything that he's doing down there at ATT.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the best coach in the world, and I don't even think necessarily it's close. I don't know who would be a second. He's just a genius, and he's very, very dedicated. He is always in the gym. He is more dedicated than any of the fighters, really. I swear to God, that guy is always there, and he just is obsessed with fighting. But that's why he's the best, just because he's a genius when it comes to it. And I love that guy. He's great.
And he used to be a really good fighter back in the day for anyone that doesn't know. Does he still get in there and throw hands or do anything with you guys? Or is he more on the outside looking in?
No, absolutely. And he moves with everybody. I've seen him go with 25 pounders and I've seen him going with heavyweights. We get in there a lot. He's probably one of my main training partners, honestly. So yeah, it's good to, tag him up a little bit. But yeah, he's always in there going with guys.
All right, this main event for this Bellator 264 card, I'm really looking forward to. You got Gegard Mousasi, John Salter. The 185-pound belt is on the line. Some contrasting styles as far as this matchup goes. When you look at it, who do you expect to win? Do you think we're going to see an and new, or do you feel like Mousasi retains the belt?
Yeah, I think Mousasi is just too much for him. I know that other guy is pretty good, and anything can happen. Obviously, people always say that, so of course you got to say anything can happen. But I think most of the time that Mousasi wins, and I think it'll be somewhat of a dominating performance. It'll be a little bit back and forth, but I see no reason that Mousasi doesn't get his hand raised.
So we're under a week now from fight night. What's the weight at right now?
Yeah, the weight's good. I always have my weight under control. My last fight, I made weight on 5 days notice. So that was kind of a confidence boost up. No matter where I'm at, I'm always going to make the weight. One thing I can always promise to the fans is I will never get caught with steroids or drugs or anything, and I will always make weight. So weight's good. That's never an issue. I cut a bit much, but, I'm a good weight cutter. Cutting weight is all mental. Of course, nobody's going to feel good. And to me, that there's just no excuse for missing weight ever. Not once, no excuses. You say you're going to make the weight. And that's what I'm going to do next Thursday.
Tell me what you think of this matchup with Johnny Campbell. I don't know if you saw something that he said on social media, but he called you a high-level cuddle master. Does that bother you to hear? And how do you feel like this fight's going to shake out?
That guy sucks. If he's saying that, I didn't know that he was already that low thinking in his own MMA grappling ability. For him to already be thinking about what I'm going to do when I take him down and that how I'm so much superior on the ground, he's obviously a little scared. This guy, the bottom line is he sucks. He's probably going to talk trash to, build it up, but I'm going to absolutely smash this guy. He's terrible, sloppy everywhere, sloppy on the feet. I could knock him out on the feet. We'd take it to the ground. I'll submit him or TKO him, ground and pound him on the ground. The bottom line is I am going to beat the fuck out of this guy. It's going to be brutal.
Your record is clearly, there's no comparison. He's been around for a while. He lost a lot early on in his career. He's 21-13 now, which, it doesn't really compare to your record. But if you look at that most recent win over Henry Corrales, that's a signature win. That guy's an absolute stud. What did you think of that fight? You're shaking your head, so it seems like maybe you weren't impressed.
Nah, both those guys are bums. I think Henry looked very bad at 135. I don't think he necessarily is good at 45 anyways, but yeah, that was a very sloppy fight. They were just swinging from the rafters back and forth. That was to me kind of a bar fight. You see drunk guys just slinging the leather like that. That's not entertaining. That's nothing. That's just two guys swinging from the fences and they got no technique whatsoever. So yeah, I'm just going to go in there and just outclass them.
Yeah, so it sounds like you expect to dominate him regardless of where the fight goes. Are you going to be disappointed if this fight gets out of the first round?
Yeah, I'm always going to be disappointed if I don't get the finish, but man, in MMA, anytime you can get the W, it's big. Of course, again, anything can happen. So you really got to be satisfied and happy with yourself anytime you win, just because this is a crazy sport, grueling sport, anything can happen. But, I should beat this guy in the first round. I should take it to him and just dominate him, give him no possible chance to win and get the finish. But, we'll see. Got to get the win first and then beat the fuck out of him.
All right, man. Well, I can't wait. August the 13th, we're under a week away now. Bellator 264. Danny Sabatello, Johnny Campbell. It's going to be a banger. Always a pleasure talking to you, my man. Before I let you go, tell people where to follow you on social media. If you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
Yeah, my Instagram is Shock This World. On Facebook, I'm Danny Sabatello, and tune in to watch me beat this piece of shit.